We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must. Okay.
He lets it fly. Oh, I can't believe it.
Welcome back to the Two Shots in the Ball podcast. I am your co-host, Coach Mike McAndrews, along with my brother, the official Jim McAndrews.
Oh, the official Jim McAndrews or the official Jim McAndrews? Sorry, I was trying to be funny. Sorry.
Oh, that was your attempt at comedy. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
So I digress. Yep. We hope you all had a fantastic 4th of July weekend. I know Jim and I did. We got to spend some time together, Jim, with the entire McAndrews family. That was a great day on Friday. Weather was perfect. So we had a great weekend. Lots of plans. How about you guys?
Yeah, we did. Same. Yeah. Weather was great. Kids had a great time. Back to the grind, though. But it was good to see you guys.
So episode 8, we are moving along here, and we are really excited to have another great guest this week. One that we think is going to bring a ton of value to our listeners, a ton of experience this guy has. So we're looking forward to another great episode. Today's guest played basketball at Michigan State from 1989 to 1993 under Spartan legend Judd Heathcote. He was a 4-year letter winner for the Spartans. In his senior season, he was named team captain at Michigan State. After graduating from MSU, he played 3 professional seasons in Europe. He began his coaching career as an assistant for 2 seasons at Oakland University from 1997 and 1999. He then joined Tom Crean at Marquette and went to the Final Four in 2003, where he coached Marquette star and NBA legend Dwayne Wade. In 2003, he returned to East Lansing to join head coach Tom Izzo as an assistant, where he spent 19 seasons and was named associate head coach in 2012. He coached in 20 consecutive NCAA tournaments and reached 6 Final Fours. At MSU, he helped guide the Spartans to 6 Big Ten championships, as well as 4 Big Ten tournament titles. In 2022, he was named head coach at Western Michigan University, where his teams have made back-to-back MAC tournament appearances for the first time since 2015. We are excited to have Dwayne Stephens, head coach at Western Michigan University, join the Two Shots in the Ball podcast today. Coach, appreciate you taking the time to join us.
No, thanks for having me.
Coach, thank you so much. Very fortunate to take this time. I don't know how many favors my brother had to call in, but this is a pretty good one. I think they're worth it. So thank you again.
No, thanks for having me.
So, Coach, take us through your basketball journey from your playing days at Ferndale High School to Michigan State to your current role as head coach at Western Michigan University.
Yeah, as you get a little older, you start reflecting on all the things that basketball has given me, and I've been very blessed. I was able to play for a great high school coach, and Gary Safaya, and my uncle Don McNeil. Those were my 2 high school coaches, and from there I go to Michigan State, where I get to play for a legend in Judd Heathcote, and who was assisted by a legend in Tom Izzo, and get a chance to have 4 great years there at Michigan State. And after that, played overseas for a little bit, and decided it was time for me to start my career. And I started coaching, started at Oakland University for Greg Campy, who's another legend in his own right. And from there, go to Marquette for 4 years, where I get a chance to learn under one of the best in Tom Crean. And then I get to go home and coach my alma mater for 19 years. And then I took a step over, and now I'm the head coach at Western Michigan. And I just feel like basketball has been very, 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 very good to Dwayne Stephens. So here I am. This
is a great game, isn't it? What it's able to do for us that are involved in it. It really is.
No, it is. And they're just the doors that, are open, the relationships that you're able to create and maintain. You speak of Corey. He's one of those relationships. People always ask me, what does he do? I was like, he's a connector. And he meets people, and he knows a little bit of everyone. And, so you get to meet people like Corey, and you get a chance to, like, some of my best friends now are people that I met because of basketball, whether I played with them at one point or another, competed against them, or worked with them. And I can't even tell you, you look at what other people do for a living, and what their day consists of. And, I look at what my day consists of, and, I get to impact the lives of young people, and hopefully for the better. It's becoming a little more transactional rather than relationship based, but I love the fact that I get to, have a impact on the young guys that come in our program each and every year, and get to do that from day to day. You have a kid like Chauncey Willis who played for me last year. He played for me for 1 year, and he was really good for me. And now he gets an opportunity to go play in the Big Ten, and make quite a bit of money that I think will be life-changing for him and his family. So just excited about just the impact that we're allowed to have each and every day.
So, Coach, as a coach, and you've talked about some of the people along your journey. We all have a person or multiple people who have impacted us in our journey through basketball as coaches. Is there any one person or multiple people that have had a really significant impact on you and your life as a professional and as a coach?
Yeah, so that's a tough question, because I think I've taken things from each and every one of the people that I've worked for. But when you talk about just me falling in love with the game of basketball, and uh, even pursuing it as a player, I would say the person that's probably had the biggest impact on me is my uncle, Don McNeil. Uh, he was a two-sport athlete, played at Central Michigan football, played for the Jets for a cup of coffee, and then he came and was able to coach my brother and I at Ferndale High School, and just growing that love for the game, and pushing me beyond where I thought I could go as a player. I would attribute a lot of that to my uncle, Don McNeil. And then as far as my professional career, I would say the people that have impacted my professional career the most would definitely have to be Tom Crean and Tom Izzo. Just because, when I got in with Campy at Oakland University, we were transitioning from Division II to Division I. We were playing in the bubble. The arena had not even been created or finished at that point. So I would say, my 2 years there, I was just trying to figure it out a little bit. And then, my 4 years at Marquette, I think is probably where I've learned the most. Tom Crean pushed us to get better each and every day. I think that's one of his biggest strengths, is that he was always, it's funny. I was on vacation this past week, and I get a text from Tom Crean, and, it was something, he's like, you got to show your team this. You got to show your team this. And, it was just a video of, just talking about team stuff. And he's always looking for that edge and how you can get better. And he made me a better coach. And then Tom Izzo, being with him for 19 years, there's no, how should I put it? Like, I'm not surprised at the success that he's had, just because of how he approaches each and every day. He's probably one of the most disciplined people that I've ever been around. To wake up for the better part of 30 years every day and be the first one in the office and one of the last ones to leave as an assistant and head coach is pretty remarkable when you think of the discipline it takes. Relationship wise, he's one of the best that I've ever seen. People always talk about why players go back. It's because of the relationships that they have with Coach Izzo, and he'd be the first one to tell you that there's better coaches than him. There's better, X and O guys. But when it comes to spending time in relationships, that's where he really kicks some butt. And that's what I've taken from him. So those two guys would have the biggest impact on me and my career.
I want to circle back to the recruiting side. You've been recognized numerous times as one of the top recruiters and relationship builders in the country. In today's recruiting landscape of the portal and NIL, how has recruiting changed?
I'd say it's changed pretty significantly. Like I said earlier, I think it's become a little more transactional. Players want to see what they can get out of the deal outside of just getting better and learning how to kind of be a better player, person, student. I think that's something that's lost in this whole deal with the NIL and transfer portal era is, we rarely talk about academics anymore. And it's a travesty because, not a lot of kids in the neighborhood that I grew up in that went on to college, let alone graduate from college. And, I look back and I think about how fortunate I was to be able to go and play at a big-time university and get a degree from a big-time university. And, some of my friends that I still keep in touch with, those guys, they never left home. And, that's a tough thing to kind of deal with. And I think it's going to become less and less about, kids getting degrees because, you're going to have kids transferring a million schools. And when you transfer, you lose credits. And it's harder to graduate. And you guys know how it is. Once your eligibility's up, the chances of you going back and finishing that degree are not very good. Just because you move on, you get started with your life and what's next, and it's just hard to go back and finish up. So I think that would be the only downside to what's going on now in college basketball with NIL and the transfer portal. But everything else, these guys have an opportunity to make a little bit of money. I think has been really good. But I just look at, the relationship building, which is something that I learned from both Tom Izzo and Tom Crean, is becoming less of the process, so to speak. I have 10 new players on my roster this year, and seven of those players I recruited for 2 weeks or less. So we're still trying to figure out, how we're getting to know one another, and you do your homework as best you can, and your due diligence, and try to figure out who they are as a person. And I think they do the same with us. And last year I feel like we got pretty lucky with a couple of the transfers we brought in, and hopefully this year we brought in some guys that are going to help us win some more games. So it's definitely different. But I try to maintain some of the lessons I've learned over the years in terms of building those relationships and trying to keep them as strong as possible.
Yeah. The 10,000-foot view that I have of college sports, there's no, two things that would concern me is A, you start to see it trickle down to the high schools. Like kids are always looking for better opportunities. That they think the grass is always greener on the other side. It's got to be difficult for you, coach, to have to re-recruit the kids you've already recruited to every year, right? To try and get them to stay. And then also the amount of money that they're throwing at some of these young kids, there's got to be some sort of financial literacy program that's got to go along with it.
Yeah, and I think when you start talking about the financial literacy, I think every university, mine included, is doing their best to educate these young men and women in terms of the financial opportunity that has presented themselves to them. And I don't know what you were like as a 18 to 22 year old, but you could have given me every class possible, and you learn life lessons. That's what college is
Yeah.
for. You max out your credit card and can't pay it off. You do all that stuff, and you just kind of
I didn't know you talked to Jim before this podcast.
I'm going to
That
say,
was his
I remember
go-to
that.
back in the day at Central.
I mean, we try to impress that girl that we have more money than we think we have. We take her out to a nice dinner and movie, and then she ghosts you a week later. But it is life lessons, and I think that most of these universities are doing their best to educate kids. It's just a matter of whether or not they'll listen. There's certain things you learn life lessons by making mistakes, and I just pray that the majority of these kids listen and try to make this a life-changing deal for them, and one that gives them a head start on this game that we call life, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's not my fault, by the way. They just kept sending me credit cards in the mail.
So, Coach, you've coached a ton of NBA talent over the years at both Marquette and Michigan State. Who are some of the guys over the years that come to mind for you as some of the best players you've coached, and more importantly, what are the traits of those guys that achieve that level of success on the court, the separating factor that they have against everybody else?
Yeah. So I would say that obviously Dwayne Wade is, one of the best players I've ever coached. I would say Draymond is one of the best and smartest players that I've ever coached. One of my all-time favorites will always be Cassius Winston. I just think that kid had it. He wasn't athletic as some of the guys that he played against. As athletic, he wasn't. He wasn't going to jump to the moon. He didn't have lightning speed. But at the end of the day, he was a problem every single night. And when you ask what are some of the traits that those guys had, I think the bigger the moment, the better they played.
Yeah.
I can just think of, whether it was us winning a championship by beating a number one seed in Cincinnati at Marquette, and then Louisville, who was a top 10 team at the time, to win Conference USA. Kenyon Martin and some of the guys that were in our league, it was ridiculous. And Dwayne Wade, he led us to a championship. He and Travis Diener, Steve Novak, just some really good players. And then, you think about Draymond. I think of some of the moments we go to Gonzaga and win at Gonzaga, and he scores 36 points and it has like 17 rebounds. So that was a big time win for us. And he did it time and time again in the Big Ten, as he was one of the national players of the year. Didn't win no Wooden Award, but he did win a couple of National Player of the Year awards. Denzel Valentine, I could add to that list. He was another kid that was just a really, really, I think of the Champions Classic. First game of the year, we play Kansas, and he kind of introduced himself, and he goes on to win a National Player of the Year award.
Yeah.
And then Cassius, man, what can you say? All that kid did was win in his 4 years at Michigan State, 3 Big Ten championships, tournament championships.
Probably would have been 4 too, right? If COVID didn't happen.
Yeah,
right.
So COVID happens, and I think we had a really good chance to win another national championship. That will always be the season of what could have been. But all those guys just have the knack to play at their best in the biggest moments.
Funny you say that about Cassius. We had Pat Donnelly on as one of our first guests, and verbatim almost said the same thing about Cassius when we asked him about him in high school. Not the most athletic, not the fastest, just a winner in everything he did.
Yeah, for sure. And the other thing that people, and I say this to my team all the time, I have never met a great player that wasn't a smart player. Like all those guys, Denzel, Dwayne Wade, who came to Marquette as a partial qualifier, left as over a 3-point student. Draymond, super smart kid. He was over great student. And then Cassius was an elite student. I tell my team all the time, those things mirror one another. You can't achieve great on the court if you're, missing assignments in the classroom and not taking care of your business there. Great student, you got a chance to be a great player.
And one of the things I think that all those names you mentioned to me, as I'm thinking about having watched them play, their basketball IQ for all of them was off the charts, right? Like that seems to be the common denominator is their basketball IQ. They just saw the game in a different way than everybody else.
Yeah, I think that the ability to kind of see something before it happens, all those guys would have had that trait as well. But super smart kids and great people. Treat people the right way, and good things usually happen for you. And all those guys did that.
Those are really significant names. And those of all those traits, I didn't hear anybody say they treated the referees really good.
Yeah.
That leads me into the next question. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about officiating. As a high school ref, it's important for me to build a rapport with coaches and keep an open line of communication with them throughout the game. What are some of the qualities you look for when you in a good official or guys that you know?
You know what? I think officials have a super hard job. I mean, everyone's competitive. We do a exercise now. We got to do team building stuff so that our teams get to know one another in the summer. But so there's exercise we do, and we ask 5 questions, and based off of your background, where you're from, you answer these questions differently. I'll give you an example. One of the questions is your best friend asks if he can borrow $300, and you say, let me get back to you. When are you going to get back to him? And some guys would say tomorrow. Some guys would say 5 minutes. Some guys would say an hour. Some guys would say later in the day. Or another one is, what's an expensive car? And, some guys said $30,000. Some said 50. Some said 100. Everyone's kind of opinion and how they look at things is shaped by how they come up, how they're grown up, but also how they see the game. And we all see the game from a different angle. There's another exercise we do where we put a cube down and you say how many different colors you see on your side of the cube. Well, I can't see the other side. And I think that's what's hard for refs is everyone has a different angle. So something that I see from my angle, he can't see from maybe the angle that he has. And I think the best officials do exactly what you said you try to do. Build that rapport, have open lines of communication. And the other side that I think that you didn't mention is, the ability to say, you know what, I screwed that one up. Or, that always helps. When I get pissed off, he's like, I might have missed that one, D. And then I'm like, okay, at least he's telling me that he just screwed it up.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel a little better until he screws up again.
Yeah. Now it's a habit. First time's a mistake. Second time's a habit.
No.
Yeah.
But I think officiating is a tough job. And I think there are a lot of great officials out there. And the greatest ones are going to get calls wrong and miss things. But they're a big part of the game, and we couldn't do it without them.
You got to have a story or two, memorable interaction, maybe good, bad with a ref in the course of your career. Maybe with Coach Izzo. I think Coach Izzo has had it.
So some of the best stories are now that I'm a head coach. We go to East Lansing last year, and I won't use the official's name, but I had him the week before, and man, I thought he was my best friend. And we go to East Lansing, and I'm trying to talk to him, and he won't give me the time of day, and he gives me a tech. and all I did was wave my hand at him or something. I'm looking down at the other end, and Coach Izzo's calling him every name in the book, and he doesn't even look his way. So, that's the part of it that I think obviously Coach has earned his keep over the years, and he has a lot more. What should we call it? Latitude with the officials than maybe the young coach. So
Yeah.
it's
And he's got somebody new now that you've gone holding him back, I would assume.
exactly. So that's what I tell those guys. I'm like, man, I kept that little guy off of your butt for
Yeah.
20 years. You owe me.
When I Googled you and it came up, this is what popped up on my chair. This picture right here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
So
I right there. So I'm probably trying to tell him, Coach, it's okay, and he's probably telling me to, some choice words more or less to get the hell out of his way.
So, Coach, you've spent a long time as an assistant coach, and now having a perspective as a head coach, you've got perspective on both sides. Talk about the importance of building a quality staff that's aligned in a common goal, and tell us about your current staff at Western Michigan.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably one of the most important parts of the job. You're never going to get the credit that you should get as an assistant. And, they do so much more than we ever know as head coaches. I felt like I did that at Michigan State, and I'm sure my assistants do that here at Western. 19 years, and I thought that I knew everything there was to know about the game and was ready to, move over to that next seat. And I don't care how long you coach, you're never ready because it's just a different deal. I tell my staff that I slept really good as an assistant, don't sleep as well as a head coach. And I wonder why Coach would come in with those bags under his eyes, and now I'm the guy with the bags under my eyes. It's just a different deal, and it's a different responsibility. You're in charge for the lives of your staff and the kids on your team, and there's just so much more that you do as a head coach. So I think that assistants are invaluable. I know that they catch a lot of stuff. They spend the most time with the current players and roster. They watch film. You're kind of a jack of all trades as an assistant, from dealing with girlfriends and parents, and you don't deal with as much with boosters and administration and that side of it as the head coach does. But everything else, I think assistant does just as much, if not more, than head coach. And if you want to have a great team, you better have a great staff. So, my staff here, Jeff Rutter, who's a veteran, he's been around, knows it's funny. Whenever I'm with Jeff or Manny, my other assistant, Dosinj, on the circuit, we can't walk 5 steps without someone saying hello to those guys. And then I'm like, how do you know this guy? How do you know that guy? So those guys are great at networking and maintaining relationships. Jeff spent some time at Iowa State. He was a head coach at UW Parkside. He was assistant at Drake. He was assistant at Miami of Ohio at Stetson. And then Manny Dosinj was a prep school coach at Orangeville. Then he came to Michigan State as a grad assistant, and then he came over here with me. I just hired Tyler Kelly, who was at Niagara the past couple seasons, and he won a national championship as a player at the Division II level. He's from Columbus. And then Thomas, who you mentioned, is on my staff as well. Thomas was with the Utah Jazz the past 2 years, and he kind of felt like he's more of a college guy than an NBA guy, and he wants to give it a run. So he's come back, and he's been tremendous. You talk about smart players and smart coaches. that dude's going to be a superstar in this business. And excited to see how he grows. Sam Little is my video coordinator and assistant. He spent some time in Arkansas with Musselman. He was at Stanford, and now he's with us. So I love my staff. I just lost a guy, Chris Fowler, lost him to Saginaw Valley. He's a head coach there now, and I'm wishing him nothing but success there. And I also lost my director of basketball ops. He went to DePaul as a general manager. So I think at this level, you get good people. They do a really good job for you, and then they get bigger opportunities. And I'm happy for every one of those guys. But I also like the staff that we've been able to assemble here as those guys left. So just excited about this upcoming season.
So leading into that, why don't you tell us and our listeners how the 25-26 Broncos are shaping up? You spoke earlier about having 10 new players on your roster. So how is that starting to shape up? I know you guys have started summer workouts and summer practices.
Yeah, we've had a couple workouts here, and I'll be honest with you, if any coach that tells you, unless they have 10 guys returning, they have no idea what they're going to look like. We all like our teams right now. We're getting to know them and getting to know kind of who they are as players and people. And I like my group. I think we're a better shooting team than I've had in the past couple years. I like our athleticism, ability to play both ends of the floor. And I'm super excited about us just, working and getting better each and every day. But it's so hard when you have two new guys. So we're team building, we're practicing, we're team building. We're trying to spend as much time as we can together to kind of build that team chemistry that you need to be great. And I really like the guys that I have. Just spending time with them, I think we have an opportunity to take another big jump.
Awesome. Congratulations on that.
Coach, I want to personally thank you both, Jim and I, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to jump on with us and share your story, from a player in Ferndale to a Division I basketball coach at Western Michigan. Your story is one of hard work, and working your way up and continuing to improve in your craft and in your profession. I know our listeners and myself can get a lot out of your story. So I thank you again for taking the time out to join us.
Thank you, Coach.
Guys, thanks for having me. This was awesome. I'd love to come back after we win a championship.
Hey, let's do it. Let's do it. And by then, maybe Jim will have his credit card paid off.
There you go.
Have some NIL? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
NIL for refs.
Yeah.
That's what's next.
Hey.
He needs a Visa sponsorship.
I love it.
All right.
Thanks
for
having
Coach.
me, guys.
Best of luck this season, and hopefully we'll be talking about championships.
Go Broncos.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
Yep. Go Broncos. Thanks.
Well, Jim, episode 8 with Western Michigan head coach Dwayne Stevens. What an engaging guy he was to talk to for 45 minutes.
Man, how lucky were we to be able to chat with him and learn about his history and some of those teams and players that he coached. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and you can see why he has been a successful college basketball coach at the Division I level for 20 plus years. Just having spent some time with him today, you can certainly tell.
Yep. Whatever favor you had to call in, it was worth it.
Yep, certainly was. So plans for you for the rest of the week, Jim?
I have a couple of basketball camps I'm going to officiate work this week and next. So that's about it.
Awesome.
You?
I'm off this week. And then we start the annual Carter Mooney Kids basketball camp. So I'll give a shameless plug here for the Carter Mooney Boys basketball camp. July 14th through the 17th, we will do the younger kids, grades 3 through 5 in the morning, and then the older boys in the afternoon, grades 6 through 9. So looking forward to that. That's been an annual thing that we've done for the last 20 plus years. So it's a really good week of.
Yeah, you have fun doing that, right?
Yeah, certainly. It's a different perspective to be around that joy and the youth and teaching the game to the younger kids. So it gives me, it refreshes me a little bit in terms of what you're used to at the high school level. So for Jim McAndrews, I am Mike McAndrews, and we appreciate you listening again this week, and we look forward to bringing you another guest next week. We hope you have a great week. Thanks again for listening.
Thank you.
Take care.
All right. See ya.
We want to clean in the paint. We're going to call hand checking and body checking, and sportsmanship is an absolute must, okay?
He lets it fly.